Probably the most prevalent of all tackles in football, regardless of age group, the side tackle. The side tackle is very key. A lot of you may call it the angle tackle, which is what it is. Football is a game of angles, and we must be great side tackling defensive players. We want to be able to put our youngsters in a position to have thousands of repetitions making good tackles. Yet we don't want to put them in situations where they're always pounding on each other, thus risking a lot of injuries. The first part of a side tackle is what we call the side up. The side up. You don't have to be in full gear to do a side up tackle. Okay. After we reach good technique work in the side up, then we go to the true side tackle. And working with the side up tackle, we just call them the side ups. And the coaching points are: number one, we can do this drill without shoulder pads on. Number two, we want to really focus on getting your head across the body, your head across the offensive player when making this tackle. Number three, we want to stay in what we call a hip-pocket relationship, meaning we want to keep the ball carrier out in front of us on every side or angle tackle. So when we do a side-up drill, all those coaching points will be the same. We want to stay behind the man by a yard or two, so he has one way to go, and that's to my outside. We don't want to get head up on the running back. We don't want to get head up on the offensive player. When you get head up on the offensive player, you give him the opportunity to have a two-way go. We want to stay in his hip pocket, behind his outside pocket, so when we're coming up to make that tackle, he says, I only have one way to go, and that's to the outside. So that's what I mean by the hip pocket. Once again, just like our form fit, we want to have the same aiming point. The aiming point when we're working the side ups or the side tackle will be the far number, his far jersey number. And then number 5 here, when we're making that tackle and we start to drive the man back across the field, we want to try to take him straight backwards with square shoulder pads. So we coach forcing the outside foot to get down. If you can get your outside foot down, let's say the ball carrier is coming this way in the tackle. As I make that tackle, if I can get my outside foot down and start to fight back up the field, we will create fewer and fewer negative plays when that ball carrier at contact is actually falling forward. We want to take him backwards. By coaching that outside foot, we get that done. Now, quick illustration of a good side up and a good side tackle. If this were the ball carrier right here and I were the defensive player, as that ball carrier is coming across to the outside of me and he's trying to run outside, I want to stay in his hip pocket. I want to get my face, my eyes across to the aiming point, which again would be the far number. As I converge on that football, I want to be in a good football position. I want to come to balance. And then once he decides there's nowhere else to go and he tries to just outrun me, that's when I'm going to take a shot up through the man and up through that aiming point. Once again, I'm coming up in slow motion as we watch it here. I'm trying to get my head across. I'm trying to shoot my hands, my eyes to the sky, and wrap the man up. As I wrap the man up and I drive my feet, I try to get my outside foot down and drive with pressure through his pressure. Remember, you always want to fight pressure from where pressure is coming from.